Question is, curing is a post-harvest management team. And the options given for this are sugarcane, cotton, tobacco, paddy. So the correct answer is tobacco. Why tobacco? Because this tobacco leaves are harvested green and it is usually consisting of high moisture and starch, right? So curing, this process usually converts starch into sugar and develops the nicotine flavor so that it would give the golden color. So without curing, leaves rot and they are usually unusable. Understood? So curing, there are different types, like flue curing is there, air curing is there, sun curing, fire curing and all is there. What is curing? It is a drying process. Drying along with the controlled fermentation of harvested leaves in order to develop aroma, color and texture. Okay, so this is commonly followed in tobacco. Sugarcane, where the post-harvesting process will be, ripening and milling will be there, but there will not be curing process done. Okay, so curing means that in the process where the starch will be converted into sugar and also develops the nicotine. Okay, and cotton, here the ginning process and pressing, baling and all common post-harvest practices, not curing, right? And paddy, where you may be knowing about threshing, drying, milling, polishing and all. Okay, so students may confused with drying with curing. So curing is different, that is drying along with the fermented process of leaves. That is only followed for tobacco and also tea, vanilla and all. Okay, so if question says curing means think tobacco first. Next question is, amount of rainfall received in a rainy day is, and the options for this are 2.5 mm and above, 5 mm, 10 mm and less than 2.5 mm. So the correct answer is 2.5 mm and above. Because in meteorology, a rainy day is officially defined as 24 hours period. Okay, so which received 2.5 mm, which means around 0.1 centimeter, 0.1 inches, right? So 2.5 mm, which is nothing but 0.1 inches and more and above. Okay, so the amount falling below this threshold, below this 2.5 mm, they are typically categorized as very light rain or non-rainy day. Okay, so the rainy day where the amount should be received 2.5 mm and above. Okay, so light rain is usually between 2.5 mm to 15.5. Okay, moderate means 15 to 64 mm and heavy rain means 64 mm to 115.5 mm. Very heavy rainfall means that more than 115 mm. So this is the classification. This is the light rain classification, usually between 2.5 mm to 15.5 mm. If it is less than 2.5 mm means that is considered as the non-rainy day. Next question is, total solar radiation is measured by using which instrument? And the options are Lysimeter, sunshine recorder, pan evaporimeter, and Belloni's pyrometer. And the correct answer is Belloni's pyrometer. This is a simple and common type and which is used in the Agromet stations. And this is basically working on the principle alcohol distillation. Okay, so that it could be used to measure the solar radiation. Okay, in CAL, per centimeter square per day. Understood? So total solar radiation means that include both direct sunlight plus scattered or diffused light from clouds, sky and all. Okay. And why others are wrong? Lysimeter generally used to measure the light intensity or illuminance, okay, in lux, not for the solar radiation. And sunshine recorder used to measure the sunshine hours, duration of bright sunshine in a day, okay. And pan evaporimeter, it usually helps to measure the evaporation rate from the free water surfaces. So the correct answer is Belanis pyranometer. Okay. Next question is recommended spacing for papaya is, and the options are 1.8 by 1.8 meter, 2.5 by 2.5 meter, 3.5 by 3.5 meter, and 3.8 by 3.8 meter. So the correct answer is 1.8 by 1.8 meter is the TNAU or ICAR recommended spacing for most of the papaya varieties like Coimbatore 2, Coimbatore 7, and Red Lady and all. Okay. So if we are following this spacing, then only we can maintain the population more than 3,000 plants per hectare. Okay. And why this much spacing means papaya is a short duration variety and this requires the closest spacing, which gives the high density, okay, and high yield per acre. And also that allows the easy intercultural operations. Okay, so this 2.5, this will be for banana spacing, right? For named Rainfall and all, and also for the guava varieties. And 3.5, this will be for mango, sapota and all. And 3.8, 3.8 and all would be recommended for coconut and jackfruits and all. Okay. The next question is a hybrid castor released from TNAU, Coimbatore. And the options are GCH4, DCH177, TMPSC TMPH5. So the correct answer is TMPSC1. This is the Tamil Nadu variety, millet variety castor hybrid one. So this is released by TNAU in the year 2009. Okay, and the duration will be 150 to 160 days. And the oil content of this particular hybrid is 49% and it is resistant to wilt and capsule borer. Okay, and GC this is the Gujarat variety. Okay, this is the Gujarat castor hybrid. This is not a TNU one. So that it is wrong. And DCH177, this is again Directorate of Oilseed Research Hybrid. Okay, so that is Hyderabad variety, that is duo or castor hybrid. This is the famous hybrid, but from Hyderabad, not from Coimbatore. Okay, next TMVH5. So this may be the trap for you because starts from T. We may be thinking like it is a Tamil Nadu variety. So the thing is that it is sorghum variety, not a castor one. It is also Tamil Nadu millet variety hybrid, but this TMVH5 is a hybrid of sorghum, not castor. Okay, so this H for sorghum and CH for castor. Okay, next question is arrowing refers to. Options are flower initiation in wheat, flowering of cotton, flowering of maize, flowering of sugarcane. So the correct answer is flowering of sugarcane. So arrowing in sugarcane is the emergence of pinkish white flowers at the top of stalk. So this process is crucial for plant breeders developing new varieties. Okay, so but commercial growers dislike it because it usually halts the vegetative growth and reduce the cane weight and causes the interior to dry out. Okay, so and also you should know one more thing. The inflorescence of the sugarcane is called arrow. Okay, because it looks like a silvery white color arrow or feather at the top of the cane. Okay, so the open panicle is also known as arrow or tassel. So the thing is that arrowing is generally unfavorable or undesirable for farmers. Why? So when the flowering occurs, the sucrose in the stem will be converting to glucose and fructose so that the sugar recovery will be getting reduced. So juice quality eventually will get reduced. So generally, for the farmers, we recommend the non-flowering varieties, not the flowering varieties. Okay, so students, sugarcane, we want stem sugar, not the flowers, right? If it puts arrow, it says that I'm ready for next generation. So it will stop storing the sugar that will be lost to farmers. Okay, and flower initiation in wheat, this is relevant to wheat, not relevant to sugarcane. This is like heading or ear emergence. Okay, so arrow is specific term to sugarcane, not to wheat. Okay, and not to cotton also. Flowering of cotton means that is squaring, flowering, ball formation. So here the flower is cotton flower, not the sugarcane one. Okay, so flowering of maize, that is tasseling for male flower and silking for female flower. This is no more having any relevance with the sugarcane. Okay. Next question is the plant used for moisture conservation in dry land is. Options are sorghum, soybean, burr, and vetiver. So the correct answer is vetiver. The scientific name of this vetiver is Vetiveria zizanoides. So how it usually conserves? Because it is having the dense fibrous root system. It goes 3 to 4 meter deep vertically and act like a live underground dam. Okay, and also it is usually planted in the hedgerows. So this planting across, like it is usually planted across the slopes, right? So that it could reduce the water runoff, so that it will be increasing the water infiltration. Okay, their roots will hold the soil particles and prevents the erosion, and thereby the more water will be staying in the field. Okay, so that it is used in the dryland called vetiver system for soil and water conservation. It is recommended by TNAU and World Bank and all for dryland agriculture. It is commonly used in Dharmaburi, Krishnagiri, Birnagar dryland watersheds. Okay, so vetiver is not a food crop; it is a soil engineer. Okay, so we should plant it as a hedge, and rainwater hits the hedge and speed the breaks so that water goes inside the soil instead of running away. Okay, so that we could save the moisture. And sorghum, this is the dryland food crop, and sorghum uses the dryland moisture, but it doesn't conserve it for others. Okay, soybean, it is a oil seed crop. This is not a dryland crop, right? And bear, which is the fruit tree, bear survives in the dryland, but its role is major fruit production, not the moisture conservation. So the correct answer is vetiver. Next question is cultivation of crops in areas where rainfall is less than 750 per annum is termed as option 1 rain-fed farming, option 2 is dryland farming. So here statement based questions are given. So you should choose. So the correct answer is only 2, that is dry land farming. So the cultivation in areas receiving less than 750 annual rainfall. So there is no irrigation sources and all, and crop failure risk is also high. Okay. So why less than 750 means that below 750 the evaporation is usually higher than the rainfall, right? So the soil moisture deficient is common. So it requires special dryland techniques like mulching, budding, and vetiver hedging and all. Okay. So and why others are wrong? The rain-fed farming is usually more than 750 So the cultivation in the areas where the rainfall is receiving more than 750 Okay. The next question is drip irrigation is also called as micro irrigation, surface irrigation, surge irrigation, and trickle irrigations. So the various options are given. So the correct answer is micro and trickle irrigation. these two kind of irrigations are generally called drip irrigation. Okay. So what is micro irrigation? Like we will apply a water at very low volume, but with a high frequency directly to the root zone. Okay. So by using dripper or drip sprinkler and all. Okay. So drip is a type of micro irrigation. Trickle means here also the meaning falls the same. Water falls drop by drop. Okay. So drip irrigation is also known as trickle as well as micro irrigation. Okay. And other two irrigations, this is also like very important. You should be knowing about this. Surface irrigation means what it actually is. It is a water flows over the surface by gravity. Just opposite of drip. Drip is the subsurface or point application specifically to the root zone. Okay, but surface irrigation generally wastes 60% of water. Okay, and surge irrigation, it's again advanced surface irrigation type. Water is supplied in intermittent surges to furrows in order to reduce percolation losses. It is still a surface kind of irrigation, not a drip. Okay. The next question is, quality of irrigation water is estimated by electrical conductivity, infiltration rate, evaporation rate, sodium adsorption rate. So, how the quality is determined? How the quality is estimated? So, the correct answer is using electrical conductivity and sodium adsorption rate. So, because what is electrical conductivity? It is usually measuring the total soluble salts in the water, right? So if there is a more salt means the quality will be poor, causes a salinity hazards to crop. Okay, and sodium adsorption rate. This is also the important estimation parameter to determine the quality of irrigation water. How if there is a high sodium adsorption rate means that soil becomes hard and impermeable and causes alkalinity. Okay, so there should be a range. For example, sodium adsorption rate should be less than 10. Then only that is safe. If it is more than 10 or 10 to 26 means that is unsuitable. Understood? So students, water quality is generally determined by the salt and sodium. Okay, so this electrical conductivity check the salt role and sodium absorption rate is usually check the sodium danger. So these two will decide if the water will spoil your field. So other options also you should know. Infiltration rate. This is a speed at which the water enters the soil. It tells how good your soil is, but not how good your water is. Okay. And evaporation means that it is a speed at which water evaporates. Okay, it is a property of climate or weather, not a water. Okay, evaporation naturally depends on temperature, wind, humidity, and all. It is not having any relevance with the quality of irrigation water. So the correct answer is electrical conductivity and sodium adsorption rate. My next question is, for optimum yield production in rice, the depth of the water in the field should not exceed the level of 2 centimeter, 5 centimeter, 8 centimeter, and 10 centimeter. Different options are given. So the correct answer is 5 centimeter. Because the 5 centimeter standing water in the rice field will suppress the weeds like echinoclova, and also there will be the optimum tillering happening, which will uh, you know which will help to increase the availability of oxygen to roots, and also this will prevent the nitrogen loss by leaching. Okay, so that the optimum one is 5 centimeter. The level should not exceed the 5 centimeter. What happens if it exceeds means there will be the poor tillering and reduced root respiration and all. Okay, and 2 centimeters is very minimum, so that this is not the correct one, and 8 and 10 centimeter it is maximum. Okay, so it should not exceed 5. If it exceeds means there will be the poor tillering and root respiration and all will get reduced, and lodging will happen, and iron toxicity and lower will yield and all will be encountered. So the correct answer is 5 centimeter. Next question is water use efficiency. So the formula they asked. Options are y by et, y by e, y by d, and none of the above. So the correct answer is y by et. That is economic yield by evapotranspiration. That is evaporation plus transpiration, right? So this is the formula for water use efficiency. So y by yield is yield by evaporation only. This is incomplete, and here the transpiration is ignored. So this is not a formula for this. And y by t again here the evaporation is ignored, and this is also incomplete. And so the correct answer is y by et, that is water use efficiency, WUE. Next question is available water is between. So the options are field capacity and permanent wilting point, field capacity and saturation, permanent wilting point and hygroscopic coefficient, and none of the above. So the correct answer is available water is between field capacity and permanent wilting point. What is available water? So available water capacity is generally the water plant can actually absorb from the soil. So it is generally calculated as the difference between the soil moisture at field capacity and permanent wilting point. Field capacity means that water retained after free drainage. That is called field capacity. Permanent wilting point is the dry threshold where plants can no longer extract the water. Okay. So the difference between the soil moisture at FC and PWP is the available water capacity. So if the question is asked like available water means that is between field capacity and permanent wilting point. Okay. And this is the field capacity and saturation. Saturation means that all pores filled with the water. Okay, and this is not an answer for this. And next one is PWP and hygroscopic coefficient. Hygroscopic coefficient means water held very tightly at 31 bar tension. So water between permanent wilting point and hygroscopic coefficient is unavailable water. That is not available water. Okay, so the correct answer is FC, that is field capacity and permanent wilting water is the between this is available water. Next question is lysimeter is used for measuring evapotranspiration, evaporation, transpiration, and humidity. So the correct answer is lysimeter is used for measuring evapotranspiration. So lysimeter, which is the device or tank filled with soil and with the crop buried in the soil. They usually what they do means they just bury this device in the soil, and this will be used to measure the actual water loss from the soil along with the crop system. Okay, what it measures means that evaporation as well as transpiration, that is evapotranspiration. This is the most accurate direct method for evapotranspiration. So, lysimeter generally measures the weight loss. How much loss is there in the moisture? First, it will measure. Then, ET, that is evapotranspiration, means water added minus water drained minus change in soil moisture. Okay, so this is how it works. And evaporation, this is totally different. Uh, like for this alone, open pan evaporometer can be used. And transpiration for this phytometer can be used, and humidity measurement and all. We generally use hygrometer, psychrometer and all. So the lysimeter is used for measuring evapotranspiration. Next question is, higher water use efficiency can be achieved with the help of, and the options are furrow irrigation, drip irrigation, corrugation, and basin irrigation. So the correct answer is drip irrigation. So higher water use efficiency, about 90 to 95% can be achieved through drip irrigation because it is highest among all the methods. Why? Because water is applied directly to root zone, right? Drop by drop. So that losses through evaporation, runoff, and deep percolation will be very minimal in the case of drip irrigation. Okay, so that we can save maximum amount of water here. Okay, why others are wrong? Furrow irrigation, it is a surface method where the water flows in the small channels between the crop rows. So here the water use efficiency will be low, around 50 to 60 only. High losses will be there through evaporation and all. Okay, and corrugation, it is again the surface method, and small shallow furrows called corrugations for close growing crops and all. Here also the water use efficiency will be 50 to 60% only, but here also there will be more chances for the evaporation and all. Okay, so it is not the correct answer here. Then basin irrigation, this is also surface method, and here also we will expect the evaporation, percolation, and runoff losses and all. This is generally used in the plantation crops. Okay, so this will be having the very lowest water use efficiency, around 40 to 50%. The highest will be achieved through the drip irrigation. Okay. The next question is, rain bearing cloud is. Options are cirrus, cumulonimbus, cumulus, nimbostratus. So the correct answer is cumulonimbus. And also, thing is that this nimbostratus is also the rain-bearing cloud. But in exams, when both appear, you should prefer the cumulonimbus because this is preferred for heavy rain and thunderstorm contest. Okay, if question says continuous rain means that you should pick the answer nimbostratus. Okay, so cumulonimbus means that thunder cloud. That is usually tall, dense, and towering cloud with the anvil top. So this will extend from 500-meter to 12-kilometer height. Okay, and you can expect the heavy rain along with the thunderstorm and hail lightning. Okay, and what about this cirrus means that this is the high cloud, usually more than 6 kilometer thick. Okay, more than 6 kilometer, and this is not causing any rain. Okay, this is not causing any rain, but cumulonimbus will be causing the rain. That is rain bearing cloud. And cumulus is the low cloud, puffy cotton balls. You may be seeing, right? So if there is a puffy cotton balls appearing on the sky means that is cumulus. Okay, so this will not be causing any rain. Okay, then nimbostratus is the low to middle cloud, usually dark gray thick blanket. Yes, this will give the continuous, steady, and widespread rain. If there is a question is asking like continuous raining means you should pick the answer nimbostratus. But here there will not be any thunder. Okay, so that it is called cyclonic rain. So if there is a question like cyclonic rain bearing cloud means you should pick the answer nimbostratus. Okay, so here the rain bearing cloud is cumulonimbus. The next question is, short range weather forecasting refers to forecasting the weather parameter within how many days they are. Options are 3, 7, 10, 12 days. So the correct answer is 3 days. Short range forecasting usually uh, being forecasted within 3 days. Okay. So the weather prediction can be made within 3 days or 72 hours. This is the most accurate forecast type. Okay. And important thing is that 7 days is the medium range. This is the short range, and this is the medium range forecast. That is MRF. We usually call it as MRF, medium range forecast. That usually can be done between 3 to 10 days, as per Indian Meteorological Department. And 10 days is the upper limit of medium range forecast. Then 12 days is the extended range forecast, that is Europe, which usually be predicted between 11 to 30 days. So this gives the weekly outlook. Okay, so short range is usually for 0 to 3 days, medium range is usually for 3 to 10 days, and extended range is that 11 to 30 days. So here the answer is short range for 3 days. Okay. The next question is, any direct or indirect harmful effect of one plant on another through chemical substance is called. Options are allelopathy, incubation, annidation, aniculation. So the correct answer is allelopathy. So this is the term coined by Molich, and this means that harmful or beneficial effect of one plant on another just by releasing the chemicals called allelochemical. Okay, so that release can be done through the root. So that is root exudation can be made. For an example, eucalyptus means which incubate the crops near the growing area due to their volatile oils and all. So parthenium, which usually releases the parthenin, that is suppressing the all other crops. So like that. So here the correct answer is allelopathy. Inhibition, it is the term to stop or slow down the growth. Okay. And incubation, it is too broad term. This is not relevant to this definition. So it is a definition kind of question. So the direct answer is allelopathy. Okay. And annidation means that here meaning is that effect of one crop on succeeding crop due to the changes in soil by preceding crop. Okay, so this term is relevant to the soil, not relevant to the direct chemical release. Example, cotton after the cotton may cause the wilt. So it is the crop sequence effect, not the chemical effect. Okay, next annihilation means that complete destruction or killing. This is the extreme bad, but allelopathy causes the harmful effect, that is growth reduction. Okay, so this is not a technical term for the particular definition given here. Next question is that which of the following crop rotation is suitable for dry land areas? And the options are rice gram, sesamum gram, mustard cucurbits, and wheat cucurbits. The correct answer is sesamum and gram. So sesamum and pulse crop rotation is perfect for dry land because it perfectly balances the drought resistance with the soil enrichment. So here the sesame conserve the scarce soil moisture with its deep root system, while the gram still act as the legume to fix the atmospheric nitrogen, so that it could restore the fertility without requiring heavy irrigation. So this combination offers several benefits as well as the synergistic advantages for dryland or rainfed regions. Okay, for its exceptional drought tolerance and natural nitrogen fixation and all. So this is the perfect answer for this. And why others are wrong means that rice and gram. Here rice is a wetland crop, needs the standing water at puddling. This is impossible for growing in dry land without assured the irrigation. So gram is okay, but rice fails the pair. And mustard and cucurbits. Here, cucurbits like watermelon, cucumber, or generally water-loving shallow-rooted plants. So this will be causing a wilting effect in dry land, right? So and also this will be highly prone to powdery mildew in dry areas. So this is not recommended for dry land areas. Then wheat plus cucurbits. So wheat is the irrigated crop in North India. So in Tamil Nadu, dry land doesn't have any winter irrigation for this. Plus, cooker beets again fail due to the high water requirement or need. So both crops are unsuitable for dry land areas. So the correct answer is sesame and crop as the crop rotation. So this crop rotation is suitable for dry land area.